Well, the past few weeks have been a bit rocky for the ULM Warhawks on the gridiron as they have continued to struggle finding ways to win football games. But head coach Bryant Vincent says the bye hit at just the right time. Not only did it help them get back and prepare mentally, but also physically to get out and close out the season strong. With 3 games remaining, including Saturday's game against South Alabama right here at the House of Pain, head coach Bryant Vincent says his guys are ready to go out and finish the season strong.
I think it was critical. I mean, it was critical. It was without a doubt the best timing it could have been because we needed that time. You know, we needed that time after 7 straight, and the amount of guys that we've had out has put so much stress on the other guys. You know, with your roster last year, year one, we were really 1 deep. We were 1 deep, and it kind of caught up this year. We're 2 deep. Well, you know, that 2 deep is starting to expose itself when you're on the second, third guys in some situations, but that's what it is. So it's next man up as we continue to build this roster.
The ULM Warhawks are coming off a much-needed bye week following a 7-game stretch, the last 5 games resulting in losses. Despite the recent struggles, the Warhawks' spirits remain high. Head coach Bryant Vincent says it could be easy for these guys to crumble during these tough times, but that's not what they have done. In fact, they have grown closer.
I think it's uncommon. I think you can look around the country, and there's a lot of teams in similar situations, and you just don't know if they're going from the beginning to the end. I've been able to see, I've seen it with my own eyes, the mentality and the effort. There is no negativity. It's not allowed, you know, and I think the reason that you've seen this week in and week out and week in and week out is because this is how we've started this foundation from day one. And that foundation has got to be strong, and right now our kids are steady and they're strong, and they're continuing to be the same day in and day out, and that is not easy. And it's not common, and that's why I feel good about the direction of this program and this mission.
From the outside looking in, some may say this season was a failure, but Vincent says it was far from that. Though they are not where they had hoped to be at this point in the season, Vincent says major steps have been made.
What we've done in year 2 is now we've raised it, and we are now competing with the best. We are right there. We're not going to sit here and make excuses. I'm never going to make excuses, because then we're not embracing the tough times. We're running from the tough times. Doesn't matter whatever's happened with whatever situation. We're not going to sit up here and talk about who we don't have and what has happened. It's excuses. And we're going to embrace these tough times, and we're going to fight through them and get through them, and then we're going to continue to build.
With 3 games remaining on the schedule, the ULM Warhawks' hopes to make a bowl game are still in play. That journey starts this weekend at home as they host the South Alabama Jaguars. The Jags are 2-7 overall and 1-4 in SBC play, but Vincent says their record doesn't reflect on how good this team really is.
As you go back and you look at their entire body of work, they're really close. They're in all these fights. They're in all these battles. They're coached extremely well. Any Sun Belt team, including South Alabama, is very capable of beating anybody every given Saturday. Defensively, you know, I think Will does a great job defensively. They're very active. You know, they're physical. They're tough. So, you know, they run the ball extremely well on offense with Book. They've got 2 really good backs in him and Keenan Phillips. Davenport can take it to the house at any given time. You've got Voisin, who's really their main target at the receiver position. He's got 50 catches, who can really stretch the field. So this is a very talented, you know, South Alabama football team that's coached really well. Coach Applewhite does a great job. You know, they've been right there, you know. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a great game. They got a really good football team. We're excited to be able to play the next game after the bye week and see where we're at.
Heading to the showdown, Vincent says they can't get caught up in focusing on what the Jags do. He says this week, the focus is on their own execution.
The biggest thing is the next game, and it's the opportunity for us to play clean. We haven't played a clean football game in 5 weeks, you know, and, you know, from turnovers to penalties to situational football, it's an opportunity for us to go out there and play well as a team, because once we break through, you know, you got to keep banging. And we're banging and we're banging, and we're fighting for that moment, you know, and that moment to go out there and play clean as a football team and to play together and to play complementary football, which we're fighting for and clean. And so the key is to continue the climb. The key is just to continue to look in the mirror and own the things that have held us back in these last several games to be able to fix and correct it so we can enjoy, some success.
This is a big weekend for the Warhawks, not only because it is another opportunity to move closer to their goal of becoming bowl eligible, but also because for the seniors, this is their final time stepping on the field to compete in the House of Pain.
I think they understand the moment. This is their last home game. Our next 2 games are on the road. And, this senior class and this team, especially this senior class, a lot of these guys have hung in here, and this place means something to them. It's personal. And they've bled for this university. They've bled for this town, and they've fought, with everything they've gotten day in and day out. And it's a special moment. These guys have played a vital part in the resurgence of where we're going. And it's a big day, and they deserve to be honored.
And that's all the time here in The Score. Thanks for watching.